So, Tando meets up with her father and he is telling her that he got some visions that he is no more a Tabete, but he's now a Ndaba. And she needs to basically change her surname because if she doesn't, it's basically affecting her and it's the reason why her marriage is falling apart. Now, Tando is saying something that we all are thinking. She is firstly married, so even if she changes her maiden surname, it's pointless because she is now a Lamuka. Secondly, he didn't even pay damages when he thought that this Tabete surname was rightful. Like she was technically Umam Somi, and when her damages were paid, they were paid at her mother's side because he never paid damages. Tando's father never paid damages when she was a child, when he knew she was about to get married, and even when he tried to solve issues, because even though she was technically married, but she still has ancestors, so it's important for her to have her maternal and her paternal side of the family in her life. So I'm guessing that is also why Tando's father is bringing this to the table. But now the issue and the problem is if he did things rightfully and paid damages for her, I would understand. But he didn't even do step one. So now why are you telling her about these steps? And where does the story come from? So Utando is like, hey, my father and his lies, and he just doesn't understand tradition because he needs to start from the start. She's like, I cannot deal with his lies, and she decides to leave. While we're on the story of Tando, SIYACELA's uncle, Ubab Kunene, decides to meet with some of his sister-in-laws. So these are the wives of Bab Lamuka, who are actually SIYACELA's mothers. And Tando has just left the homestead, going back to her mother's side of the family with her baby boy, and he wants to understand why did they allow it and why have they not called the family meeting. So the mothers are saying that they basically told Tando numerous times that she needs to begezela, and in fact her complaint was that SIYACELA can get violent, especially when he's drunk, but they're saying that no, if he's drunk he can't do anything to you, which is the most stupidest advice in the world. And Ubab Kunen is like, no, what you're saying is just nonsense. You guys are supposed to call a family meeting and put SIYACELA in order. Actually, you guys are supposed to be disciplining him. But I feel sorry for them because technically no one can discipline SIYACELA. Even when Ubab Lamuka was alive, I mean, these women are scared of SIYACELA on their own. So can you expect them trying to sit down with SIYACELA and tell him wrong from right? He would most likely tell them like, hey Wena, this is my father's home. If you want to leave, you can leave. That's just how arrogant he is. In the end, Valkunene says that they need to figure out a way so that they can actually go to Tando's family and try to understand the way forward. Now, lastly, Tando's father meets up with SIYACELA and one of his uncles, and he's basically wanting to address SIYACELA on all the fights that they've been with and the way forward regarding his daughter. And SIYACELA comes in very arrogant as usual, but this time he comes with anger and he's basically insulting Tando's father from the beginning, telling him that he doesn't even understand why he summoned him to a child which is not his, technically. And they go back and forth until SIYACELA insults the father by calling him a dog, and that he basically owns Utando because he paid Lobola for her, irrespective of the fact that that's not even his child because he didn't even pay damages. He owns Tando. And in that moment, another woman would feel like uSiyacela is standing up for his wife. But I found it so insulting because is that how he views Tando? Like basically saying that I bought Tando and I own her because I pay Lobola. And he starts swearing the father, even sells him for tech, and the father obviously stands up and they get into a physical fight. Don't know why he thought that was a great idea because I mean uSiyacela looks like someone who literally, if it was not because of how big he was, if he used that energy into some kind of sport like rugby or something, I mean, he would be going far because did Tando's father really think he would succeed by beating up Setela? Like, really, come on. Anyway, the security obviously broke them apart, and Tando's father lost it trying to find a bottle to attack Setela. And that is when Tando comes out of the car trying to stop her father, and she says it's because she knows that once a bottle is involved, that's when the police are now going to be called because things can actually go from 0 to 100, and she does not want one of her family members to be in jail. And I really do feel like the whole family are afraid of Sacela from his side because not once did the uncle try to rectify or stop him, instead, even to ask him to apologize. They have the nerve to tell Tando's father, and I know he's not perfect, he is not a saint, he has so many offenses. Actually, he annoys me by the fact that he wants to be in Tando's life, but he's done nothing for her from day one, and I definitely believe he's only here solely because of the fact that she's on TV and exposure and getting most likely a paycheck for, being a part of the show. But other than that, honestly, if it wasn't for the show, I don't even think Tando will know who her father was this year, honestly. So it's so sad that Tando is just surrounded by men who are childish and selfish and inconsiderate, and I honestly don't know what she sees in Siyacela. A man who can describe you on that level. But anyway, we have come to the end of today's video recap. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that post notification bell down below. Till next time, love and light. Bye. Mwah.